if I click here in this beginning segment, and just in this black hole right here, um, in this space, and hit the up arrow button, it'll take me to the spot at the one frame at the very end of the teacher's stress frame. That's where I want to be. I'm going to mark an endpoint here. Now I need to use my ears and listen, and I'm going to listen for the pause in this.
It's the week before finals, and
okay, she says week before finals, and there's a big pause there. So that's where I'm going to make my out point.
It's the week before finals.
Pause, out. Okay, so I've got that section covered. I need to find some B-roll about it. You know, I would start with an establishing shot. I'm not a huge fan of this establishing shot, but it serves the purpose. It tells us that that is an establishing shot. So I'm going to hit F10 now, and watch what happens. This, boom. Does this look to you guys like what we would want to have?
And many students are...
No, because that overwrote this track 1 audio. It overwrote the part of her saying it's the week before finals. I'm going to undo that. Undo is probably the most important thing you need to learn the keyboard shortcut for. Command Z. Okay, the problem here was I didn't disconnect A1 and I didn't reconnect A2. When I B-roll, those are the tracks I need to be on. A1 is disconnected, A2. So I'm just laying video and A2, and I'm leaving this track 1 alone because this has all our good stuff that we don't want to record over. So I'm going to hit F10 now and see how it looks different here. I have video on this track and audio down in this track, but I left her voice track all alone. So now it looks more like this.
It's the week before.
And you notice we've got 45 seconds of this video.
It's the week before finals.
And that's the way we want it. We want pad before she starts talking.
It's the week.
45 frames of pad. It's the same video that carries through, that becomes our first shot. We wouldn't want to just have a little bit of video that stops right there and then put in a different shot. Okay, if I were to do this and take it,
The week before.
I would see like just a quick flash frame of the Milner exterior and then cut right to this. That is not pad. That is not what we want to do. I'm going to undo what we did. So I've got back to the Milner library. We don't need to keep going back and looking at this stuff. When we get into the swing of things, this will be really quick, and I'm going to show you quickly here what to do. Okay, so we got to the end of that, and again, we can use our arrow tools. Arrow up takes us right back to that event, that last event, which is the end of that shot. Mark an endpoint here, and I can guess that in this short little space right here that there's not going to be another pause.
And many students are cramming and finishing up their projects at the last minute.
You feel that?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to put another edit in between there. So just one more shot. And I like this high angle shot. This is cool. So I want to get it in toward the beginning. So I'll hit F10 there, and now I can arrow down, mark an endpoint, listen.
Amidst all of the final stress.
That sounds like a pause. What's a good example of stress? Maybe one of these 3 shots. No. You know what? Stress. I like the close-up of the girl resting her hand on the chin. That looks like stress. So I'm going to lay that down. Amidst all the final stress, mark an endpoint right there before I even move anything.
What students may not be thinking about is...
What students may not be thinking about. Maybe I'm going to move into a tighter shot of the hands. Ooh, that's a better focus there. I'm gonna go right here before she starts. See, and all I have to do is hit I again, and it makes a new endpoint. Okay, now I'm marking an endpoint there, and I know there's not going to be anything, so I hit the down arrow, hit O to mark an out, and I'm going to listen to this and see what she says so I can tell what to put in there.
The stress their professors are going through.
Well, I don't have a shot of a professor. That would have been a good idea to actually shoot that, but maybe I'll do this card flip thing. Okay, so down arrow takes us to the next event, and
While many students wait until the last minute to prepare,
F10, marking in.
teachers start writing their finals as early as right after the midterm.
I like this extreme close-up of typing, so I'm going to get that in there. And notice I'm doing shots that could kind of go together. Do we have a shot of who has the red shirt there? You know what, because we see the red sleeves here working on the keyboard, I'm going to go back and lay this. I'm going to hit X and F10. Now what X did, I'm going to do X again. X, as you can see here, marks an in point and an out point just for whatever event is covering here. So this shot, it marked an in and out. Option X will clear your in point and out point. I'm also going to look here because if you see this, it looks like there's a little bit of a space there where there could be a black hole. Because I've gone back and changed a few things a couple of times here, that's what causes that problem. I do not want to have a black hole in there, so that would be a bad thing. That's big points off on the grading system. Okay. And mark an in point.
And prepare for finals throughout the whole semester.
I think I'm going to stop after it says and prepare for finals.
And prepare for finals.
And prepare for finals. I really don't like that sign, so I'm not going to use that. Where was our other 3-shot? Try that. Mark an in. Arrow down. Did we use that one already? Yes. Starting to lose track of what we have used and what we haven't used. Here's a good tip. If you click on your sequence down here and go to Edit, Find, search that project for unused media. Now I can see all the shots that I haven't used. Haven't used her, that one, yuck. Haven't used that one, that's a good close-up. Okay, so Shift Z again takes us down to see the whole timeline. We can see that we have filled every space on here. Now, we want to look at a couple of things though, because our desired soundbite length is going to be 7 to 10 seconds for what we see of the person. And we can see here, you know, this is a relatively attractive guy, but he's not Brad Pitt. So I wouldn't want to see him more than 7 seconds if I can avoid it. If I hit X here again, you can see it marks an in and an out at the beginning and the end, and it tells me this is 14 seconds. A little longer than I want to see him. You know, he's a nice guy, but I would rather see him for 7-ish. So I'm going to listen to
feel that
what he
things are
says.
unmanageable. There's a lot to do and no time to do it. You don't have time to de-stress, so
I think that's probably plenty long to see him. Now I'll just cover him up with another one of these shots. The shot of her, kind of too similar to the shot of him. Not such a great. This might be better. Okay, so over the shoulder. It kind of probably tells more about what he's saying. So F10, lay that down. You can see it just overwrote his video, but the audio is still there, and we can look at that.
De-stress, so you know you're constantly doing something. You finish a project, you don't have time to go, yay, I'm done with this project. You have to do.
Now, one thing, I would not want to cut off less than 7 seconds here, and you can see if I hit X here that that's 8 seconds, that's plenty fine. If I went much less than, maybe 6 at the very minimum, I wouldn't have time to put up CGs. So I want to leave that space there, but I want to cover as much as possible. And I wouldn't just go cover one shot and then come back and see him right away again, because that I start to feel like a ping pong ball then if I'm back and forth. I would cover up all the way until the end of his soundbite and keep going till we see the track. And really, if we had a situation where we saw Phil again later, I could cover his whole soundbite, or maybe after we've had the chance to CG him the first time, maybe leave up 2 or 3 seconds of him. But I really never need to see, another full 7 seconds of Phil. Okay, so I could look at Dr. Moore. 15 seconds. Wow, that's, it's getting into a little long to see her. Let's see where we can...
Students may not realize that finals for teachers have that same kind of big workload at the end of the semester.
Okay, so I'm going to cover up the rest of her soundbite there.
But it hits us before it hits you because we have to think it through.
And I'm going to use 2 shots for this. Back to the gray shirt reading, and here I'm going to just hit X and that'll fill up my sign, and I'm going to go with the black fingernails. Okay, and I think Mitch's might be, yeah, it's about 7 seconds, so I wouldn't really want to cut anything out of Mitch. We could go probably at a max of 10 seconds. 7 to 10 seconds is a good length, but once we get to longer than 10, 11, 12, we'd want to put in another thing there. Okay, so right now we've got this, all of our video and audio in place and ready to go. I'm going to hit Option X to get rid of these in points and out points here. Option X, and they're gone.